What's up? Okay, welcome to the nutrition and results portion of your orientation video. Again, all of this information is in your packet, but I know that some people, they like to get their instructions verbally. So I'm gonna do just that. So big thing to know is that this challenge is 4 weeks long. So there are going to be some things that we ask you to do that aren't necessarily something that I would recommend as a complete lifestyle change as far as sustainability is concerned. But we are not looking for healthy long-term habits right now. That's something that we do usually at the beginning of the year. Not to say that I don't want you implementing those things that you have learned, but when you look at this plan, I don't want you to think, oh my goodness, I can't do this long-term. That's not the point. We want you to gain some momentum. We want you to give it everything that you've got for 4 weeks so that you can see that results are possible. And after those 4 weeks, we are going to work to get you on more of a sustainable plan so that you can keep those awesome results and continue to make progress throughout the year. So a couple things that I want to cover is one, your grocery list. So your grocery list is broken up into approved proteins. We're going to be focused on lean proteins. So we are definitely going to monitor and watch our fat intake over the next 4 weeks. Not to say that things that are not listed on this protein list are necessarily bad for you, but this is going to be what our options are for the next 4 weeks to see maximum results. So you've got approved proteins. The one thing that I want to note there is you're going to see yogurt, unsweetened Greek yogurt. This challenge is dairy-free outside of unsweetened Greek yogurt. It's a great probiotic and it's an easy way to get in some extra protein. There is an asterisk there. What does that asterisk mean? That means is if you even have the slightest inkling that you may have a dairy intolerance, I would avoid the Greek yogurt. If you know that you do well, it digests well, it doesn't bloat you, absolutely can have that Greek yogurt as a snack. But if you are unsure, I would avoid dairy completely. Also have a healthy fats list of approved healthy fats for you. We also have condiments and extras. Now, this condiments and extras, I'm gonna tell you that the more bland you make your food, the less likely you are to overeat it. So even though we've given you a small list of approved condiments, flavors, etc., if you want to go ham, I would eliminate all of those condiments and I would try and just focus on your whole foods. If you're like, if I do not put mustard on my ground turkey, I'm gonna go to Braum's, put some mustard on your ground turkey, okay? So that is kind of a, do I have to have this? These are your options. If you can go without it, I would recommend going without it. Carbs and veggies are another category. We've got a list of veggies that have a list of fruits that have a lower glycemic index. So we're not going to have you eating all of the berries. Again, not that any berry is bad per se, but we're gonna limit those berries to blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries for the sake of this challenge. That's what your asterisks will mean on your berry category when you're in your fruits and veggie and carb category. And then you also have unlimited amount of veggies. So we may not have added a specific vegetable on the list. It doesn't mean that you can't have it. We've just tried to create a list of vegetables that we know are filling, lower calorie, higher volume, that have the most vitamins and nutrients, so the more bang for your buck, because you are going to be in a calorie deficit over the next 4 weeks. So trying to do things that are going to be able to help you feel full longer, help keep your energy higher. But again, if you're in doubt, absolutely ask. But if it's a vegetable and it's not on the list, 99% of the time, it is absolutely okay to have. So this is not an all-encompassing list. And then with your drinks, water is king. Water, 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 water. If you need something besides water, or you need caffeine, black coffee is ideal, green tea is ideal. Outside of that, we're going to stray away from juices, artificial flavors, and anything else that could entice your sweet tooth or give you just unnecessary calories that you do not need. So that's gonna be your grocery list. The next page that you're gonna see is a base meal plan. So one thing that I like to mention is that this is not custom nutrition coaching. That is something that you can absolutely opt into. Our nutrition coaches are certified and they are willing to do your macros for $50, which is crazy, crazy, crazy cheap. So you'll have some information in your packet that if you want specific macros, specific calories, they're happy to do that. But I have done this shred for 4, maybe 5 years now, and I've never counted my calories because the meal plan is so specific. You are not going to overeat. You are eating for fuel, you're eating for nutrition. You unfortunately are not eating for enjoyment. So do not lose your brain or lose your mind thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to count these calories. Don't complicate it. We're going to keep it simple. We're going to fuel our body with nutritious things. We're not going to overeat. And I promise you, you're still going to see the results. So a base meal plan, you've got 5 meals a day, and then you've got an optional 6th meal if necessary. Breakfast, we're going to ask you to have a protein, a carb, and veggie. Your meal 2, which is your snack, we are going to ask you to have a protein, a fruit, and a healthy fat. And then meal 3 is going to be your lunch. And then we're going to ask you to have a serving of carbs, serving of vegetables, and a serving of protein. Meal 4 is going to be your snack. And then that's going to be a protein and a healthy fat. And then meal 5 is going to be your dinner. And that's going to be a protein and 2 servings of vegetables. If you work out in the evening or you just need something before bed, you also can have a protein shake for muscle recovery. So that's going to be just kind of your base meal plan. Again, this is all in your packet. The big thing here is we're going to give you some general ideas. I'll give you like an example meal plan. That's not to say that you can't sub in something different. So for example, option A for your breakfast, maybe a half a cup of egg whites, a whole egg, a half a cup of veggies, and a half a cup of overnight oats. So you've got your carb, you've got your veggies, you've got your protein. But if that's not what you want for breakfast, then you go back to your base plan and you make sure that you've got a protein, that you've got a veggie, and you've got a serving of carbs from your approved grocery list. And you can sub in however you wish to do that, but we've tried to simplify it and give you options. I'm someone that loves structure, so I want the meal plan. I want you to tell me exactly what to eat. So you're going to have a page there that gives you option A, option B. And if you're like, no, not asparagus, go into your approved list and you can absolutely sub out a vegetable that's on your approved list. Hope that makes sense. If not, Q&A on Friday, May the 2nd. Come and find me and I'm happy to answer those questions. Now, outside of that, meal plan nutrition, I want to make sure that we cover your workout guidelines. So we're going to ask you to have 30 minutes of steady state cardio in addition to your workouts, at least 4 times a week. So steady state, essentially I want you to think about getting on an incline walk or even a fast walk outside. You're not leisurely strolling. You can talk, but you're not completely out of breath or exhausting yourself. It's something that you are comfortable doing or a little uncomfortable doing for at least 30 minutes. So your heart rate, I would say you want to target that between like 135 and 150. And that's going to be kind of your steady state mode. So that's something to look out for so that you know that you're not overworking yourself, but you're also not just walking or doing steady state for the fun of it. So you want to hit that for 4 times a week. You also want to make sure that 2 of your workouts a week are HIIT style. So we've got some strength days, we have some cardio days. We love to avoid cardio. Cardio is not the devil, and cardio absolutely will help you burn fat quickly, specifically in a short amount of time. That is what HIIT is known for. So I want to make sure that you are not skipping your cardio and core day or your full body HIIT. And then Saturdays are almost always going to be more of a cardio HIIT day. So make sure that you're not skipping those 2 days. And then obviously the other 3 days of your workout, any sort of strength training is highly recommended. We're gonna ask that you work out at least 4 times a week. And then we're also going to ask that you take some sort of active recovery 1 time a week. So at least 1 rest day. That can look like yoga. That can look like coming in on a Sunday and just walking the treadmill. Your steady state cardio can absolutely still be on a rest day, but we're going to ask that you're not strength training or doing HIIT at least 1 day out of the week.